Alright, I am back with a brand new game to cover, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a game I cover a good amount, considering Diablo 4 has been delayed until, I don't know, the apocalypse. I don't even know when that game's coming anymore, based on all Blizzard shenanigans. I'm going to say no earlier than 2024 at this rate, given the most recent delay, where it didn't even have a release date before that. Anyway, the new game I'm talking about is what you're seeing here, Lost Ark. This right now is just the technical beta. You can like sign up on the website and maybe get a code that way, or you can buy like some sort of Founders Edition. I think I bought one for like 15 bucks and it just automatically gives you access to the technical beta. I have been playing my way through it today. I am leaving for the next 3 or 4 days or so, so I don't think I'll be able to play it then. I might get back in time to give it some more time at the end of this. But so far I've been playing all day, and I have not hit the end of the beta on one character. This is a pretty lengthy beta, from what I can tell. I'm not exactly sure how far it goes, but just kind of looking at the overall list of destinations on the map, this seems like a very large game. And keep in mind, this is not like an early access game. This is a game that has already existed in Korea for, I think, at least 2 years now, and a couple other regions like Russia. This was described to me as Korean Diablo, and I am obviously a huge Diablo fan, so that alone was enough to kind of get me engaged with the concept at the very least. And I am impressed. I am very impressed with what I've seen so far. I took maybe, I don't know, 10 or 20 minutes to kind of warm up to it and to adjust to the combat system, which is just a little bit tweaked from Diablo, but it is very similar. Walk around with the mouse. You're not clicking the same move button to attack enemies. You're clicking a separate button, which I think is different than Diablo. But you have your kind of hotkeys and stuff for all your skills. I think you have more hotkeys than Diablo. It's kind of 2 rows of letters, and then there's numbers for potions and other skills and things like that. One thing I appreciated about the game is that it allows you to access a whole bunch of skills right at the beginning. I think I had like maybe 6 or 7 skills for the class I chose that are available right from the start. You can upgrade those skills over time by like sinking skill points into them, and there are a lot more skills to unlock, but I kind of like the system better than just, you know, starting with 0 skills and then slowly getting them one at a time. It was nice to have kind of a full arsenal. But even that is not full. So I picked the gunslinger class, which, as you can see here, is kind of goofy. It's like a cowboy, but this is like a fantasy magic game. Aesthetically, it's kind of goofy, especially at the start here, where I don't have any cool skins or high-level gear. So I literally just look like a cowboy, or cowgirl in this case, and it's a little interesting in that regard. You can pick a number of classes at the beginning. I don't know if these are all the classes in the game, but it's like warrior, mage, assassin, and then there's like 2 genders of martial artists and 2 genders of gunslinger. I don't know if that actually means they have different abilities or not. I haven't really looked into that, but I was impressed with the kind of character select area and the character creator. It's very kind of Black Desert Online, where maybe it's not like that level of customization, but these are this is very Korean, where it's like all of the character models are like extremely good looking, you know, men and women. And they've put a lot of work into that, even though this is a game where you are very far zoomed out from your character at all times. And even when the dialogue scenes are close up, you're still not really seeing a ton, like your character's face. The gear you get is, I made a joke on Twitter earlier about like how I had these shorts on, and then I got shorter shorts that upgraded my power. So it seems like that kind of came to a certain extent, which is fine. I think the aesthetic here is pretty fun and over the top, and I don't think anyone's gonna complain about it too much. So I picked Gunslinger, and it's pretty much like Demon Hunter in Diablo. Essentially, like, I know Demon Hunter had crossbows, but they were pretty much guns, so let's not, pretend it's all that much different. You'll see me using a number of skills, like throwing out my gun, and it spins around and shoots a bunch of bullets. You can throw bombs. You can shoot like a giant plasma bullet. You can do sort of a the move is called Equilibrium, and it's like the move from Equilibrium, where you like put your guns out and kind of spin around and shoot everything. And I've really, I've gotten used to it over time, and granted, I'm not doing any actual difficult content here, but It flows pretty well, and I do want to check out some of the other classes. I just don't know when this beta is going to end for this character. I was planning on checking out Martial Artist next because I was a big fan of the Monk in Diablo, and I am curious to see how that goes. The one thing that's not my favorite in this so far is the UI. I kind of had this problem with some kind of ported Asian games, or it's the style of UI where even kind of like Monster Hunters like this, or a lot of games from Japan or Korea, the UI is just not what I would consider good. It's just a little ugly. It's a little overcrowded, I think, and granted, I'm kind of learning, where everything goes and stuff, but like, especially here, it's like you keep bringing up windows and you can like X them out, like you're like this is like a Windows desktop or something, and it's a little convoluted for me. I think for all New World's problems, New World is one of the best UIs I have ever seen in the whole kind of MMO space. It feels like a level of polish that game has above and beyond a lot of other games in this category. So this is just kind of a minor gripe I have. It's not my favorite look for the game at so far, but I do like, generally speaking, the aesthetics of the game, the kind of high fantasy. It reminds me a bit of Godfall, if I'm being honest. Like, it's like Godfall meets Final Fantasy a little bit, that's not meant to be an insult. Like, Godfall had a pretty okay aesthetic, it just wasn't a very good game. But here, you are going around killing demons. You are kind of the chosen one to some degree. I don't really quite understand the plot here, but this game is very heavily reliant on, if not, they're not really cutscenes, but like kind of, it'll zoom in on the action, you'll have a conversation, or there'll be like a little set piece in a way that is definitely more advanced than what we saw out of Diablo 3. In just my short time of the game so far, I remember a sequence where I was riding in a cart around the map with a priest, and then we were attacked by bandits, and then the cart kind of just goes off the rails and it's on fire and it's racing all around these caverns, and like it was pretty cool and pretty advanced for like an isometric game like this. And I think the space has evolved pretty significantly since Diablo 3. Even playing Diablo Immortal, I saw a lot more. That's the mobile version that they're going to come out with soon. Like, even that, like using the Diablo 3 engine, I think they've had more set pieces like that and more interesting things that can happen on the map. And I think other games, like this game, has used those advancements themselves and has already released a game before Diablo Immortal or Diablo 4 is going to get here. One kind of odd aspects of this that does set it apart from Diablo is the fact that it also has a lot of like MMO components, in that these are not procedurally generated maps and enemies spawn in like little respawning mobs. It's not just like you clear everything on a map and then go back, and then if you reload, everything will be there. The mobs will respawn in real time, sometimes right on top of you. And in most of these kind of open areas, you will see other players running around doing things. I don't really like care about this. Like, I don't really care that there's other players in the world. It doesn't really make it feel more alive to me. I mostly just like looking at everyone's special skins that they got for pre-order bonuses or Twitch drops or whatever, and like me and my little cowboy outfit looks stupid by comparison. But so far at least, it doesn't really add anything to me. Like, I'm all for co-op and multiplayer, and that's like an important part of games like Diablo, but just people being out in the world, it doesn't really seem to have made the game improve for me. And it has made it always online, so I can't pause it even if I'm playing solo. Even if I am in a segment that I load into completely solo, you still cannot pause the game. I guess that's sort of just par for the course in this entire industry at this point, but not the most ideal. I'm still kind of learning all the different systems and currencies and stuff, and I'm not super clear on a lot of them, but granted, I'm kind of just playing the game. I'm not really taking my time to learn about the intricacies of the economy, where progress is not going to carry over to the final version. I'm 100% sure. Right now, so this got delayed. This was supposed to come out this fall, but they wanted to delay it because of QA reasons and for like work-life balance, I guess, for its team, which is fine. I haven't seen any like crazy major bugs or anything so far. I don't know what kind of extra shine they're going to put on it. Because, like, this is an already released game. This isn't, like, a brand new game. So they have had a lot of time to kind of sort out the finer points of it. And the main, thing they're doing here is localization. The voice work is not great. I mean, not that Diablo has such amazing voice work either itself, but, it's not, I would not say it's a highlight so far. It's a little cheesy for my taste, but again, maybe that just comes to the territory. I believe this comes out officially at the end of March 2022. I think it's March 28th or March 29th, something like that. And that is incidentally right when my son is supposed to be born, which I am very excited about. And will I get to play this around that time? Who knows? Probably not immediately, but I hear babies sleep a lot, and you have some time to play some games and watch your baby at the same time. So maybe that will work out. I also have Wonderlands, the Borderlands spinoff, coming out pretty much that same week. So that's going to be an interesting period of time there. But so anyway, for everyone, like, the official release of this is not at least for another 4 months. So we will see what kind of changes there. I am really digging this so far. Kind of everyone I knew who knew anything about this brought this to me, and they're like, Paul, you're going to like this. Like, I know you. I know your obsession with looters and ARPGs and class things and all that stuff, and you are going to like this. I haven't really looked into, like, how much of a live service this is or how often it gets updates. I also don't know kind of how monetization works. This is a free-to-play game, so there is definitely microtransactions here. And I have heard at the higher levels it gets pretty, like, pay-to-progressy, which is not great in this genre especially. Diablo didn't really have that kind of mechanic. It just had the auction house, which it stripped out eventually, but if we kind of get into, like, an ultra endgame where it's slowed way down unless you pay, I think that is going to not be great. Obviously, free-to-play games have to make money somehow, but and I do wonder how much will translate from the Korean version of the game, where over in Asia it is a lot more common and popular for games to offer kind of paid progression or paid power, and it's not really as big of a deal over there as it is here, where everybody freaks out when that happens. As seen in an infinite number of games that we have had controversies about things being pay to win or pay for power. So I am curious to see if this version makes any changes to maybe lessen that with the Western release, but I don't know. It's probably not a deal breaker. I mean, after all, I play Genshin Impact, which is like, just please spend hundreds of dollars on powerful characters, and yet that game doesn't make it mandatory at the same time to really, doesn't gate any content behind that, so we'll see how this handles it. I don't exactly know how the final product of this will look, but this does strike me as a game that, I at least over time, we have years, again, until a new true Diablo game comes out. I've never been a Path of Exile person. Like, this just isn't a genre with a lot of competition in it. It isn't. And, it's technically a looter, so I guess we're competing against Destiny, but in terms of stuff that is straight up Diablo-like, there is not that much competition in this space. So this strikes me as a game that I could, use as a long-term investment and put a lot of time into it over the next year or two when I have time, because it does seem kind of that level of engaging. Like, it may not have all the polish of a bazillion-dollar Diablo game from Blizzard back when Blizzard was good. I may have issues with UI, and yet kind of I can see the core fundamentals here, and those core fundamentals are good. And this is already a game where I'm like, yeah, I'd probably make one of every class and just max them, just casually. So that is good enough for me. So just pretty much positive first impressions here. I don't know how this will pan out in the long term. I don't know how long this beta content goes and how much of the game I'll get to experience, especially with my time being cut short a little bit here. But I am definitely looking forward to more of this game in the future, however much of it I can play. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, I will be, so yeah, I'm gone, so I can't make videos for the next 3 days or so. Like, I don't think I'll be able to make videos until maybe Tuesday even. So bear with me, I will still be writing articles, but yeah, videos, not so much. So anyway, thanks for watching, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.